Talk to me. WSRadio.com.
Welcome to Performance in Motion with your host, Dr. Dennis.
Hey folks, how's it going today? This is Dr. Dennis, and I hope everyone's having a beautiful summer. We're coming to the end of it. A little bit of a sad time, but kids are starting school again. Anyway, I am joined today by two special guests that have now become my friends from Hawaii. Did I say that right, Pastor Waxer?
Not bad. You got to get that little extra E. Hawaii.
There you go. Okay, I got to work on that. And his lovely wife, Cyndi.
Hello.
I'm so thrilled that you guys are here. And
glad to be here.
You made the trip all the way out here, and I'm very grateful for that. And looking forward to taking a trip out there in the very near future.
Yeah.
All right, folks. So Waxer is a pastor at One Love Ministries, and we're going to get into some inspirational talk so that this will carry you beyond the show today.
Awesome.
So we're going to get right into this, and we'll go ladies first. Okay. So, Cyndi, where were you born and raised?
I was born here in California, Anaheim, California.
Anaheim, Orange County, right?
Yes, Orange County.
Cool. And as you shared with me, you were a gymnast growing up, right?
I was, yeah. My mom put me in everything. So swim team, gymnastics, diving, jazz, tap, ballet. I did a little bit of everything, but we were very sports minded. So, yeah, big sports family.
Very cool. And how many siblings?
One brother.
Oh, one brother. Okay.
Yeah.
And he obviously played sports too then, right?
He did, but we were opposite. I was the girl, but I was the wild one out there climbing trees and digging in the dirt. And my brother he's more of an artist. He would draw, very mellow kind of guy. So, yeah. So I brought all the heartache and trouble, and he was the good little boy.
Just saying, keeping it real.
Cool. And before meeting this handsome young man, what were you doing for occupation? What
was I doing when I met you? I think
Consolidated Reprographic.
Yeah, I worked at a blueprint company.
Joe job.
Yeah.
Joe Jet job.
Very cool. And how about you, young man?
Yes, what about me?
Okay, so where did you grow up?
I grew up in Hawaii. So my dad was a pastor there, so my entire life being raised in Hawaii, and grew up with a very unique background of being extremely outsider and outcast. So I was one of only 3 kids in the entire school that was Caucasian, and everybody else was local Hawaiian, because I was right near what you would say today would be a reservation, in a sense, Hawaiian reservation. We call them homestead land. So our house was there. So for that reason, my parents didn't know that dynamic, and so I grew up with a very unique dynamic. There's a word called haole. All you guys listening who've been to Hawaii, you recognize that word haole. That's kind of the word that's used for the Caucasian. And my joke is that the kids in Papokalea thought the word haole was the Hawaiian word for piñata.
Yeah, I can definitely relate, my friend, as we shared some things just on the other end in New York City.
Yep.
Same type of deal.
Yep.
Cool. So obviously you're a sports guy, and you know the name Waxer comes from being a surfer, right?
Absolutely, yeah. From
cool.
The sponsorship. You know, I like to joke the fact that when I was young, I was an extreme sport athlete, not even just young, up until my last concussion was just a year and a half ago, dirt biking.
Right.
But, you know, they called us stupid back then, but now they call it extreme sport. But
That's hilarious, dude. So we have surfing. What were the other types of sports that you were involved with?
Snowboarding, as that came into my life as I moved to California to go to college. But then always motocross, and then volleyball, and just about anything, bombing hills on skateboards. So that was really big where I lived in Hawaii. So, I mean, I'm talking sometimes 30 miles an hour on a skater. Yeah.
Wow.
So that was a lot of fun. But that's one of those scars you see on me. A lot of those are road rash.
Okay. And yeah, so I've seen something similar in New York City where some of these skateboarders sort of latch on to a car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so 30 miles an hour, huh?
Yep. It's a hill called Tantalus, if you're listening and you understand that in Hawaii. So it's one of the top hills, and we would just bomb it for the speeds. And back then, the smartest we could get was maybe a football helmet. and put that on and go.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, when we do extreme sports or things of that nature, we get some injuries, don't we?
Absolutely.
All right. Tell the folks what you got.
Well, my
short
wife,
summary, sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. No, my wife has suggested that I have 2 speeds, off and full. And so for that reason, that ends up in crash. So it's ended up that I've pretty much broken a bone in every part of my body. Not every bone, but every part of the anatomy has had a broken bone. And both knees replaced, both hips need to be replaced, torn labrums in both of those. I don't have an L5S1, that's all titanium. The herniated disc in the neck, the carpal tunnel in both hands, and acute fibromyalgia, and I have chronic fatigue syndrome.
That's it?
That's it.
No, that's not it.
Oh, what
you
else?
want me to? I'll
ahead.
add some.
Go ahead,
You got
Cyndi.
your torn.
Oh, yeah, both hamstrings. Yep, ripped both hamstrings pretty brutally. And what else am I forgetting?
Just a billion bumps and bruises.
Okay. Bumps,
Yeah, no
bruises.
problem.
Yeah.
Kind of wimpy stuff.
Yeah.
I hear you, man. That's a long list, my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that a lot of people, if they're surfers, you're listening here in San Diego, it's just when you get thrown on a 2-foot wave versus a 20-foot wave, there's a huge difference. And the ragdoll effect that happens underwater. I mean, we call it ragdoll because then it's just like the dog has a ragdoll in his mouth and he's shaking it like that.
Wow.
So that's where, I literally felt my knee, back of my foot hit my head when the knee went out one time. So, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I give you guys a lot of credit. I mean, being an ice hockey player, it's a little different, but same result.
You got frozen water.
Yeah, your water's harder. Your water's a lot harder.
Yeah, and I'm sure there were some concussions that were undiagnosed. So, yeah. But real quick, so when you started getting these injuries and it started kind of getting in the way in your ability to perform at your level.
Right.
Just a quick, what types of, I guess, holistic treatment did you receive?
Very little on the holistic because it's so new, right?
Yeah.
So in the early days, it was all straight to a doctor. I remember literally being on a traction machine. Remember those?
Oh, yeah.
Where I held onto a thing and it could and because one of the injuries was I was dunking a basketball on a fast break, and the guy coming behind me was so close that he clipped me, but my fingers were holding on the rim, like you do.
Yeah.
So my finger slipped off, and so in the seat position, I went all the way down on my rear.
Wow.
So that was the first jolt impact to my lower back, which is why I don't have a lower back anymore. So that was the first damage, and the second one was I was trying to do a flip snowboarding and and I only got halfway. I got distracted by a skier, so my nose on my board went up rather than my heel. Blah blah. Anyways, I wasn't able to complete it, and then that's when I was finally done. So I couldn't recover from that one. But so it was always doctor, hospital, this, that, medication, pain management, and then eventually replaced the back, and then eventually replaced the knees. It wasn't until after even the knee surgeries that we found a guy on Kauai who even just suggested even like doing a blood cleanse.
Sure.
Just seeing what food is affecting me.
Right.
And I did notice, folks, I'm not a gluten person. What is that disease your mom has?
Celiac?
Yeah, I'm not that at all. But I can tell the difference.
Yeah,
when
definitely.
I eat gluten, my muscles are going, ouch. When I had a holistic doctor tell me about the 7-to-1 principle, every 1 pound on you is like 7 pounds of pressure on your knee.
Absolutely.
I can feel it, folks. I can feel it. So when I'm 5 pounds over, I can feel it in my knees.
Totally. Totally agree with you. When I was playing hockey, same deal. Every pound by the second and third periods feels like 7 or 10 or 100.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
How about you, Cyndi? We never really talked too much about what you've experienced as an athlete. Did you have many injuries?
Not too many injuries, actually. I'm the difference between me and him is I think things through. I watch other people do it 10 times. I'm cautious. And then I watch them make all the mistakes, and then I learn from it. He's the first guy, so I learn from his mistakes because he's the one who's like, charge. So if we came up to something, like we jump off 50-foot cliffs, and that's fine into the water. I sat there in the boat and watched for about a day and a half before I did it, and he's just like would be the first guy. Well, I don't know how deep it is, but let's just try it and climb and jump. So anyway.
That is so interesting, the contrast in personalities.
Oh, yeah.
So you got to watch what you do because she's observing the whole time and learning.
Dude, to this day, I'll try to get her to go out surfing in this place. And now the answer is, I don't want to end up like you. I don't want to end up like you. I don't want to end up like you. Because, she's seen the consequences. So,
yes.
Yeah, I'm paying for that for sure.
I hear you, man. Well, it's awesome when we can find someone that we trust and then share our whole life with. That's just phenomenal to see that with you guys. And hopefully someday I could mimic you both with the healthy quality type of relationship that I'm witnessing in the short time that I've known you both.
Well, The thing is, just focus on the good, because you can always focus on the bad. So, Philippians 4-8, set your mind on whatever is true, noble, right, pure, lovely, excellent, praiseworthy. I could focus on the wet towels that are left on the bed and all the drawers that are left open and all of that, or I could focus on the good qualities, that he's a good man, loves the Lord, comes home in the evenings, and that kind of stuff.
That's so cool. And just wanted to formally congratulate you guys on your 27th wedding anniversary.
Absolutely. Thank you, brother.
Woo.
I tell you what, being a pastor, it's almost weekends, right, doing weddings.
Yeah.
And so I like to say the 5 rings. When I do a toast, I say, here's the 5 rings of matrimony. This is for you and then your audience. And that is this: to the engagement ring, the wedding ring, suffering, enduring, and then maturing. And that's it, baby.
Oh, man. That's a great way to end the first segment, making us laugh and think at the same time. Well, we have a lot more incredible fun and info and sharing coming up in the next segment. And you're listening to WSRadio.com, the worldwide leader in Internet talk. Toll-free number 866-977-2346. See you in a little bit.